Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here in Hanover, Germany at CeBIT. Great day so far. We're coming up to our last match of the day. Before we get into that, give a shout out to our sponsors again. Keep in mind, we still have that raid call channel open, 1997. Go in there and hang out, be super cool. BenQ is super cool. I don't know if you noticed. See, if you're gaming at home and you got like a 24-inch monitor, you didn't notice, but you might be a noob. Because now, they make them in like 27 inches.
As of today.
Better. Well, I guess, like, unless you're 24 inches BenQ, then you're good to go.
This particular BenQ has just been launched at CeBIT. The gamers are the first people on the planet to get to play to it, test them. 120 hertz of just awesome gaming awesomeness.
Yeah. I had a little go when we first got here. There's a BenQ booth just outside. It's a pretty picture on that screen.
It's a big picture.
Very easy to see what's going on.
It definitely helps you see ganks coming a bit sooner, hey? Wink, wink. Well, we're going into the last game of the day. It is on stream 1, of course. There is another stream going, but it is Pastry Time and Papa Smithy running that one. We're going to be doing Gambit Gaming versus Incredible Miracle.
Yes.
So, Gambit Gaming looking to go 5-0 in the group. Incredible Miracle, they're currently 2-2. So they're looking to get 3-2 in the group, because if they're 2-3, there's the possibility of being tied.
Yeah, they are currently, they're currently sitting there third, fourth tied in the group, 2-2 with the same as Millennium. So those guys are tossing up there, as you saw just there in that interview. Edward, Alex saying they don't really care what happens in Group B, they just want to top this group without question, have a couple of days off, come straight through with that bye as you get as being top of this.
Well, I want to touch on something really, really quickly, because, you know, in terms of the group stages and how it sets at the moment, Gambit Gaming are 4-0, so there's nobody that's going to overtake them, even if they lose this game, right? They're going to be 4-1. If Blaze win this game, it'll be 4-1, meaning there'll be a tie for first place, and time will determine who goes through. But let's be honest, let's stop for a second and think about how this is going to play out. Gambit Gaming most likely going to be Incredible Miracle, because they beat Blaze convincingly, Blaze beat Miracle.
Oh. Gambit beat Blaze in 20 minutes. So
well, look at it this way.
The quickest game we have.
Very true, but look at it this way. CJ Blaze are playing Millennium. So let's assume Blaze beat Millennium because of how things have played out. It means Millennium's going to be tied with Incredible Miracle on 2 wins and 3 losses. And the time for their games will determine who advances and who stays behind. I stand to be correct in that, but I'm fairly confident in my mathematical skills there.
And simultaneously, if IEM wins this match, they've almost secured their spot, because we can probably assume that Blaze will take the game against them.
If IEM wins this match, they'll go through third, Gambit will go through first, Blaze will go through second. That's the top 3 as they are. But that's a big task.
Well, what it does mean for Incredible Miracle is it fully paints the picture. If they lose, they might go out. If they win, they're guaranteed to go through. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders right now coming into their last game of the day. I believe that all of the teams will be playing simultaneously. This is a try-game round. So that there isn't a situation where a team can say, well, we're just not going to play because there's nothing at stake. You know, you never know who's going to go through. There can be no chance for collusion in the final round of the day.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. I wasn't informed of that, and I'm the host.
But yeah, I mean, we want to talk Gambit and IEM now. We've seen these teams over and over again throughout the course of the day. We've seen some pentakills coming out of mid-king. We've seen some close ones coming from Alex, but Genja stole his quadra and then Peke ran away. So we've got plenty of reference to go on, plenty of champions we've seen through them. Picks and bans have got a massive wide open pool, as Alex said in Ziggy. You cannot ban out Gambit Gaming, they play too many. We've seen a couple of their champions banned, we've seen the NASA's ban go through, we've seen it played, we've seen Zinchao so far play in the first game, banned in almost every single other one. Both of these teams, other than that NASA's, fairly similar champion pools, to be honest. I haven't seen LGM play Kha'Zix yet, but definitely something on mid-king's roster was a big thing over in Asia for a long while when he was first.
Well, the question for Incredible Miracle is, do they ban Kha'Zix? Because if you take Kha'Zix away, it doesn't stop you against Gambit Gaming, as we found out earlier in the day. And if you give Gambit Gaming Kha'Zix, that just gives him an even faster way to win. So, you know, what's the decision-making around champions like that?
You ban Kha'Zix.
And Thresh?
Yes.
And Shen?
Yes.
And what else am I forgetting?
Kale and Zinchao and Jarvan and... Yeah.
Let them ban Kale. Kale's a given. Someone will ban it last.
We'll see who's going to be first pick and first ban, because that's going to change that picking order somewhat. If you know you're going to be first pick, it gives you that, you know, comfort in that you can secure at least one of these very strong champions. What it does mean, though, is Gambit Gaming can then counter-pick you. So in a situation like this, I think I would prefer to be counter-picking Gambit. if it were me and it were my team, I'd prefer to be in a position where I knew the composition they were going to be running, and I'd have that final pick to say, all right, well, based on champion versus champion, I want to give myself one up, because there is counters to almost every single champion in the game.
Looking at the way they're sitting in this lobby at the moment, I think that's what they've got. LGIM hovering towards that red side. So that's a possibility. They're going to have that last pick. They're going to have that second round. So they could go through down that side of the map and go off what Gambit decide to go with. But again, blue side has its benefits. It means you can leave something like Thresh open and steal it away, or leave something like Xin Zhao open and steal it away. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think, to be honest, Gambit are really too fussed about it. You saw it there in their interview. Their attitude is just, we'll go with it as it comes. We'll play our own game. We won't really worry ourselves with what's going on in the other matches or in the other groups. We just do what we want, play what we want, pick who we want, see how it goes.
That's what we were saying as well. We were talking about the team and just how Gambit, they never seem to be phased by who they're playing or the situation that they're in. It doesn't matter if they've just won or if they've just lost. I'm thinking back to an interview where they went 1-2 in the very first week of LCS, and they were chatting and said, well, you just lost 2 games, we were expecting more. What do you think? And he went, we lost. We played bad, we lost. That was it.
World Finals interviews, it was. So what exactly is your strategy? How do you win all these games? We play broken heroes. They are not a complicated team. Well, no, they would not let you believe they're a complicated team.
That's part of the reason they do so well.
It is, and I think that's in all sports in general. I mean, you need to be calm, and you need to bring that same game that you have in the basement at your house when you're super calm. You don't care, because we're all super calm YOLO queuing, aren't we?
Everyone is chilled and relaxed.
But you need to bring that to the stage, and there's all these people here, there's casters, it's the lights are flashing, all the paparazzi's here, and you got to play that same game. You got a champion like Roger Federer, that's how he plays, man, and that's how Gambit plays. They're just not phased at all. They just do not care.
It's also the fact that now it's just become second nature to these guys. Playing this game is a job, it's a life, it's what they do. And it's just us playing the game. It doesn't feel any special to us. We're not doing this thing that's crazy. We're not doing this thing that's crazy. To us, we're sitting there going, oh my God, this is amazing. This decision making, this play. This is another day at the office.
I also imagine
do.
If they're not playing under the lights and if they're not playing with flashing cameras, it might be distractingly quiet. You get so used to being in the spotlight and being on stage in front of thousands of people yelling and screaming that if it's that quiet, it's that eerie sort of sense of, why is no one yelling when I've just got a double, triple, quadra kill? Like there's something uneasy about this. So, it definitely plays into their favor the fact they've been in so many tournaments around the world. They've won countless numbers of Intel Extreme Masters over the last year and a bit. So, we'll see if they're going to add another notch to that famous Gambit gaming belt.
Did they win the Tales of the Lane?
No, I believe it was Curse at the time. Yeah, Curse at the time. They did lose in the final, and I think it was somewhat of an upset as well. So,
it was a very good game.
Yes, it was very, very exciting. And
my memories, I'm old, man. My memory is like
Tales of the Lane was
long.
ages ago. That's like 4 months. Cool. I mean, that's an eternity in esports.
Incredible.
You know what we need to do? We talked about the groups, we talked about the games, we talked about the possibilities here. We do want to remind everybody again of that Twitter/IEM. Hit us up. Let us know your predictions. All right. #IEM. There's the possibility that Millennium can go through. It is very, very small. There's the possibility Incredible Miracle can go through as well if all cards play out in their order. Do you think there's any chance for Millennium to make it out of the groups?
I think there's a chance for Millennium to make it out of the groups. They had a very strong showing earlier on. They have seemed to have slipped throughout the course of the day, but everything's on the line now. This is their make it or break it game. A little bit of pressure, as you said. If Gambit are used to playing under pressure, Millennium have been on a lot of stages too. Maybe they can go with it. And as I said, they're against it's covered up. IEM.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible Miracle. I mean, we've seen them earlier in the day. Game number 1, it wasn't the strongest performance that we've seen because Blaze were just so dominant.
Well, they're about to see them play. So Millennium can sit back, watch this game and say, all right, we'll take this all in, we'll soak it all in. I was back there now, they're on the edge of the stage, you can see it as we go to the toilets. They are sitting there watching the stream internally, ready for this game to go. They will study IEM, they are all still on voice-com, they will talk amongst themselves, they will come up with some ideas, they'll look at the picks and bans, they'll strategize this whole time, relax, get themselves in the zone, then they'll play their game. Can't really ask for a much better setup than that for their last game of the day. So there is a very strong chance they might just be able to pull themselves out of the groups.
It's difficult to see how they want to do it though, because there's so many options and so many ways that this could go. If you ban X number of champions, you get something you haven't seen yet from Gambit, and you go, well, all that theory crafting we've done for the last hour is just thrown out the window. Alternatively, if you pick a strategy that you believe works and might work on your, in your home server against other Korean teams, you're not going to get the same reaction from a Russian team. If you're like, well, I'm going to play this champion, and this champion because I know it's going to beat that combo, the Russians will go, well, okay, if you want to play those, we know how to beat them here because in EU, this is how we roll. So there's so many options up in the air, and that's part of the reason this game is just so awesome. 110 champions on this server, on this patch, and any one of them could possibly be the game-changing pick.
Yeah, in case you missed it, we are on patch 3.02. No
Yes.
Quinn. No Quinn and no Blade of the Broken King right now.
Well, the item is there, but it's pre-buff and
Yes.
pre-hotfix.
Yes.
So it's like a millennia ago.
But it's still a good item.
Yeah, we saw some
It's the
Millennium
same one
building
that
2 of it in the
Heartbeat
first
broke out.
game. We saw Alex is building it on Zed in the early game. It's still very, very strong. I mean, when it was first brought in, this is how it was. When it was first remade, when it was first there, it was like, okay, so Madra's Blood Razor is gone. Something else with percentage health damage. This is the new Blade of the Ruined King, comes rebuild or a Cutlass. And there it is. And they went, we like this. This is good. And it was built on a lot of different people. It's slowly gone down a little bit, but it's still a very strong item, even before this patch. And as you say, still viable on the likes of Zed and on the 2 AD carries that Millennium ran in their first game.
Well, let's actually touch on some of the games that we've seen today because there have been a number of one-sided matches. I mean, let's call a horse a horse. It's been a show of very strong teams and overpowering their opponents. It's just been that simple. And it's really interesting because Blaze showed us how strong they were in dominating their opponents. Blaze themselves got dominated by Gambit Gaming. We've seen Cassiopeia, we've seen Zed, we've seen a lot of Shane, we've seen, I don't think we've seen too much Renekton. I'm thinking about 1 or 2 games, I believe. Varus was very popular, but I don't recall seeing an Ezreal. There was one. There was one Ezreal.
Very first game between Blaze and LGIM with the Cassiopeia, in actual fact. But yeah, he wasn't very effective. Blaze took that game very convincingly. So ultimately, he could show up here, but with Gambit, it's not really one of Genji's particularly popular champions. Maybe an LGIM, but ultimately, I'm not expecting. Not at all.
Yeah, we've seen more Tristana than Ezreal today.
Tristana, I would see more than Ezreal, to be honest. I would expect to see that more.
come out of my mouth.
It's really, really cool to see. You can see we've got an awesome crane shot here over the main stage, having a look at each of the teams as they're just getting the final setup ready before the last match of the day. And yeah, Tristana, she's making a return. I mean, I still remember watching Tristana's in early and mid-season 2, where she was one of the go-to carries between herself, Ashe, and I think it was Caitlyn at that time as well. And Caitlyn fell out of favor. And the number of Caitlyn and Misfortune bans that we've seen today.
Shocking. I almost never see Caitlyn banned.
We saw Caitlyn banned a lot when Nunu, pre-nerf Nunu, when he was still very strong. It was like, well, how do we fix this? Well, Nunu's not that great with the other carries, but with Caitlyn, he's ridiculous. And Caitlyn still works with Lulu, and Caitlyn still works with Leona, and all about Caitlyn. And he came around a little there. Then it faded away again a little bit more when Nunu got nerfed. And it's like, okay, she's not much of an issue, forget about that now. Now she's back onto the ban table. We've seen why. We saw Alex there, and Edward explain it. There's a little bit of revenge in that situation, but she's still very strong. Misfortune on the other hand, I don't think we've seen her banned until this tournament, to be honest. It wasn't in the LCS this weekend. There was no bans there.
I would think about that as well. I think there was 1 or 2 times over the course of Super Weekend that there was a few bans, but it's done with the same intention of getting a player who is sort of known for one particular champion at the moment out of their comfort zone. And we've seen it with Yellowstar. He went from Misfortune to Corki. Instead of going for Vayne or Kog'Maw or Ashe or Ezreal, even in that situation, Ezreal was available. I mean, Caitlyn was banned, Emma was banned. And to go for Corki instead of something like Ez, who's a little bit more versatile, who's not going to get interrupted while doing his, rocket jump away, Valkyrie, etc. I don't know. I question the decision making, but then again, they're the pro, I'm the commentator. I'm allowed to have 2020, hindsight, yeah.
I admit, I'm not convinced by that yet, Corki either yet. It's not the first time we've seen him run it. Hasn't worked either time. Like the LCS Super Week before against Gambit didn't work out there. There against Gambit didn't work out there. Just didn't quite settle in quite as much as the Misfortunes and the Caitlins and the Ezreals. So, I mean, it's still there. He's still got the option. He can still work on it a little bit, but work on it, I think, is the key word. He needs to have a little bit more done to it. We are seeing all 10 players in the lobby now, just waiting for them to order themselves out a little bit, and then we'll get into Champion Select. We've got it completely wrong in the last game. What do we go for first ban this time around?
Well, to be fair, we predicted first, and it was 5th and 6th. So I'm going to try to claim the inverse rule of prediction. I think for Incredible Miracle and Gambit, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kha'Zix being banned out.
Another Xin Zhao again.
Banned out.
Yeah.
Safe.
I'm going to stick with the Xin Zhao first ban most likely, and then probably
Maybe
Kale's first ban from Gambit?
I would say if Gambit do not ban Shen, I would expect Incredible Miracle to first pick Shen. That's where my prediction is going to go. I just get the vibe that Kha'Zix is going to be removed from play because it is that hyper carry. It has the resettable leaps. Once you get that, evolved wings, etc. And it's just somebody. It's like a cat arena. Once they get going, there's nothing you can do, and there will always be a breaking point against a team like Gambit Gaming where, unless you completely crush them in the first 15 minutes, there will be a fight where Kha'Zix will get 1 or 2 or 3 kills and reset and just carry on snowballing it. So I definitely think it's something to be afraid of and something to be aware of if you were Incredible Miracle coming into this matchup.
For sure. And the longer the game goes on, the more their experience kicks in, the more that I think it leans in their favor, even against a team like IEM.
Yep, there are our champion select, and first ban, we're all wrong again, but it's Chen. So, again, 100% pick ban rate throughout the course of the tournament. We said it as it started, he's going to be in every game.
Yeah.
IEM deciding they don't want Darren to play it this time around because he was pretty big in that last game.
I put my money on the line, and I shouldn't have. I thought IEM were going to think about picking Shen. Instead, they have removed it. First ban from Gambit Gaming is actually going to be Caitlyn. So do not want to deal with the immense range, the pulled over peacemakers, and just the amount of pressure that champion has in lane.
There's your Kha'Zix ban, though.
Look, let's be honest, nobody was really surprised by that.
Not particularly. It is Alex, it is there. He has done incredible with it throughout this tournament and previous ones. It's not a wasted ban at all. It is very, very important to take that away from him, but it has opened up a couple of other options for him. We saw him play Zed earlier on. Don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to play Zed, to be completely honest. He's got more than enough other options in there. It's going to depend on what IEM pick. Rise is still there. It is his pro player pick. That is his favourite champion in that situation. With Elise and Thresh now bans. It's the third time we've seen Elise. 2 bans, 1 play. Thresh taken away from Edward.
Thresh, Kha'Zix, Shen? Isn't that what I said?
It is very well played.
You said, what does IEM ban?
And it's SKT who are in Group B.
They have banned out a team from Group B. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here. The final ban, Kale, is still available. We know that Xin Zhao is still available, and that is where it's going to go. So I want to see where Incredible Miracle go with their pick, with this particular lock-in. If you do pick somebody like Kale, you still have some versatility. You can throw her in the jungle, you can throw her in the mid lane, even potentially top, but that's not really the preference. So it gives them opportunities, and instead, they're preferring the misfortune, and we've seen it banned out a number of times, so deciding to go for the carry.
Going to go for it. The first pick does leave plenty of options up for Gambit Gaming. There's that volley barrier game. We've seen Diamond be very effective with him throughout the course of the tournament so far. And I mean, Cyanide tried it, wasn't quite as effective, but not because the Cyanide can't play him, not because of the champion, just the way Fnatic been playing all day, unfortunately, couldn't
didn't work
really
out in the team game.
Get hold of it. But Diamond has been a very big bet, especially when he's got Lulu alongside him. That ultimate
I lost my mind. In that previous game where Volibear just got the wild growth from Lulu and he was immense and running around with his little arms, it literally just looked like Winnie the Pooh dawdling along. It was very, very cool to see. Gambit thinking about this. I mean, there's 20 seconds left on the clock. They still haven't even locked in Volibear, so keep that in mind. And, well, with the Renekton being locked in, that's going top lane, and Darren is just going to be a terror crocodile.
You're also going to look at the fact that, as Lee and Joe mentioned before, Gambit have a perfect record to defend. They won IEM Hanover last year. They won the World Championships there with a flawless game record. Can they do the same thing again? They are the Russians with that kind of pride. They're going to want it.
Well, this win would put them right into the semifinals.
Yep.
They would dodge the first round, buy it.
Guaranteed top 4.
Good odds. Guaranteed top 4.
So, I mean, and we keep talking about it and saying it, but really it's a record to be just so proud of. They've never lost an Intel Extreme Masters event that they have taken part in. They have won every single one. They've had some dramatic finishes, but, they've picked up the victories, and that's really what counts. I mean, the amount of checks that Carmack and Intel have had to sign to the Russians is just insane over the last year.
I want to see their trophy room, to be honest.
It would be very cool. I imagine it's full of vodka now. Each cup.
Pringles trophy. Vodka Pringles trophy. Around the room.
A lot of picks be going through here, and Rumble has been banned out against Smeb at least the 2 times we've seen Incredible Miracle, seen them played in. So I imagine that he's going to get locked in. The last second, Jarvan in the jungle.
I like that combo. I really like that. 3 already. You've got Jarvan with that, as we mentioned before, very long range engage, EQ, ultimate, locks people in place. Rumble over the top of it. Misfortune over the top of that. They can't run away because 1, they're locked in. 2, there's a massive slow from Rumble, keeping them all locked onto that. And Misfortune firing that physical damage at top. So there's magic damage, there's physical damage. just locked in. That being said, those are two very tanky members of Gambit. Lulu is going to pick one person to make them even bigger,
shield,
stronger, and tankier. And if cast in the right spot on the right champion, she's going to cancel Misfortune Ultimate. She's going to cause a whole lot of disruption to Jarvan in his own ult.
What we've already got in terms of the compositions here, though, is no clear assassin, which is something that's a little different to what we've been seeing all day long. So when these battles take place, they're going to be a little bit more prolonged. They're going to be a little more drawn out just because of the fact that Rumble and Jarvan and Volibear and Renekton are beefy and tanky. If we do see Genja locking in this Ezreal, that's a very good pick. Exactly, and against everybody. I mean, every single one of the abilities gets currently locked in for Incredible Miracle. It allows Genja that air of safety and the ability to get away. You also see he's got Cleanse locked in as well. So
yeah, Cleanse goes in the last game too. His Misfortune game, just Cleanse and goes. He's really mixing things up with his summoner spells.
I want to see if he still goes Average Blade. I still want to see if he goes Average Blade. This is something
He'll go Static Shiv, so we'll get the Average Blade early, then he'll go into his Bloodthirster, then he'll go into his Static Shiv.
Yeah.
But he'll get that early for the early farm. It means he doesn't have to worry about dropping too far behind in CS, or even if he's ahead, it's going to just amount over time. It's a very powerful item to have. And we mentioned a long while back, when the Mastery Trees were already done, there was 2% crit in that Mastery Tree. And it got removed pretty quickly because it would ruin lane. One person get that lucky crit, that snowballed out of control. You get an early 10% crit item, you can use that to your advantage. When you're trading in lane, you get a crit, you go all in, dominant. One quick crit, go all in.
There is something I'd like to point out about what Incredible Miracle are currently sitting on right now with the Rise and with the Zyra. The first time we've seen Gambit Gaming being beaten a few weeks ago by the Spanish Giants, it was against a fairly heavy CC composition, and it was in particular Zyra that had a massive, massive impact on the game. Volibear and Renekton are both melee champions. They need to run at you to get involved, and Zyra just says, nope, thank you, there's some roots, stay in place. And Panky, Alexic is running Zed.
There's your assassin, yeah. I was waiting to say it, but they picked the Ezra and started talking about that instead. But yes, there's your assassin. That's what Gambit like to go with. They like to have their big tanky line, do a lot of damage, assassin cleans up. But this IEM composition is incredible for team fighting. I love it. The amount of AoE in there, you cannot fight that team in the jungle and get away with it, to be honest. If they would each meet 5v5 running straight on, head on in the jungle, all of those abilities go down for IEM, and Gambit will just get locked up and melted. They know that. Shouldn't do that. We'll wait and see. It's all going to matter about ward coverage and positioning and who goes. So we'll see when it actually gets into the game how that plays out. But Gambit, we know how they like to play. We've seen them play a very similar comp to this earlier on. Once they start to get a little bit of control, we will see a lane swap. I'm 90% certain on that. And once they start to take those turrets down, once they start to place those walls, start to get a bit of map control, they can roam as a group. They can start to get these little skirmishes, and it should, if they go the way they want it to and the way they like to play, reach the point where it doesn't matter if they take that 5v5 straight up in the jungle. They're going to be so far ahead, they'll just absorb all that damage, get a quick Lulu ultimate onto Renekton most likely, and it'll just go further into that team and dismantle it from the inside out.
Do you think the Russians can go 5-0, Jarrett?
You know what? I'm scared. When I look at these compositions, I'm pretty scared. But then again, I'm a noob. I'm interested to see how this mid lane matchup goes. Rise versus Zed, Alexic versus Mid King. Mid King just coming off that incredible performance, including a pentakill. It's going to be tight, very exciting. The game is loading. The casters are ready. Everybody's ready, and so excited. The fans are so excited. Pretty packed here.
It's very packed here.
And we're excited. So we're going to head on over to the casters. We're ending the day with two of the greatest casters on planet Earth, Lee Demon Smith and Joe Miller.
Thanks a lot, Jarrett, Kale. So here we go then, doing final game of the day is LGIM versus Gambit, who are looking unstoppable for Teo, which we've said before is actually quite a worrying sign for the rest of their tournament, because usually it's the other way.
Well, Gambit are just unstoppable at the moment, and the thing is, Mid King picked up the pentakill earlier on. He played really well. So how is it going to work out in the mid lane? Alexic's picking Zed into this, so he's obviously feeling confident against Mid King here on Rise. I'm not so sure. And as Trevor pointed out, the fact that Diamond, again, I tell you what, is this an omen, right? The exact same thing happened against CJ Enter's plays.
It could be an omen.
The exact same start. Demacia Standard went down on his head, and they got a kill shortly afterwards. And well, there comes Lilac again, throwing it down again, and Diamondprox was ready and waiting to get flippity-floppity on him, but instead, Lasher, who honestly for me, in that game where Mid King picked up the pentakill, I think he was probably MVP in that game, with trolling with the laughs.
Yeah, I'd agree with you with that one. The Nami play was just ridiculously strong from him. I mean, he was
And that
so,
wave is
so
not
good.
an easy ulti to land on multiple people because it's so slow coming at you, but he managed to land it no problem.
Well, if that's anything to go by, Zyra Ultimate as well. Similar kind of thing, not the easiest one to get in there, certainly to get the knock-up off. So we'll have to see how this one goes. Early stages, doesn't look like either team going to be risking anything. And I was talking to Edward before this game, and I'm like, don't worry, mate. You are guaranteed number one, even if you lose, so you can play a funky comp for us. And he's like, no, I want 5-0. Like, all right, then, fair enough.
They want to be undefeated, and they're seeing that potential that they can do it again. They went 9-0, I believe it was, at last year's CeBIT Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. They would have to go 10-0, I think it is this year, because we have that best of 5 finals, but it's probably not beyond the realms of possibility. Who knows? There's a lot of teams out there that could try and spot them. Glitterland straight away thrown across, and you see Genjo going aggressive as well. This is his Ezreal champion. Someone he does actually go aggressive on. The Q going back on towards Lasher. Genjo keeping out the damage down, and LGIM choosing to take their duo lane up against Gambit there in this top lane.
Yeah, gonna be a fun one, this for sure. LJM really playing. This is an important one for them. It's basically make or break this game. If they end up losing, then they could be out, or I think technically they would be going out if they end up losing this one because of the way the group stays right now. But we decided we're going to leave the maths to the guys over on the analysis there, so we'll not talk about the ifs and buts here. Let's concentrate on this game. Early start, not too much action apart from this top lane where they've gone back and forth. In the bottom lane, we are going to be seeing
he is way too deep
coming down here. Darian is a little bit too far forward on this one. Are LGIM going to be able to get in? Here comes the Jarvan. He's got the double buff on flash from Darian. We'll get him away from the combo, but that's his flash burnt now.
Interesting, he may not have taken slice and dice there. I didn't see what the skill he had actually. He's only level 2, so maybe he couldn't slice and dice away. That was somewhat surprised he didn't try it this time, and he hasn't got the point in it. Flash was already burned, and that's going to be a very, very dead Darian. He can't get away from it. Ignite used as well. I'm not too sure if it was even required, but it's Lilac that picks up the kill.
Yeah, actually both players from LGIM there using their flash to get in, and that's what you can do with the safety knowledge, with the knowledge that he's not going to be able to flash away. He's obviously not got a point in slice and dice because he would have used that earlier on rather than his flash, and that was just a nicely set up kill. To be honest, I'm not sure why Darian really stuck around for that situation. I think that was on the cards the entire time as Diamond comes down to his bottom lane. He's a level behind CeBIT, who, for me, considering he's the new boy here in this LGIM team, has not been bad whatsoever. As Edward there, getting rooted in the top lane.
Well, really nice play from Paragon. Although, you got to give credit to Gambit there. They forced LGIM back, and the fact that they missed out on the siege minion. So, big chunk of gold missed out for Paragon there. Alex being pushed away, has used that Fortitude potion already. Lilac spotting him out with the Damashi standard, and Mid-King, again, you can see his damage has been burned, so Alex has had a good go at him and may well do it again. Expecting to see Lilac, though, making a return kill. We see a flash from Edward there on towards Lasher, and it's going to be Alex Itch picking up a kill in the mid lane, and Lasher is going to survive that one, so Edward flash ignite didn't quite work out to him, and Alex Itch picking up a kill on Mid-King.
Yeah, really nicely done there. And, well, we were in the top lane thinking that with that aggressive flash coming out of Edward, we were going to see a kill there, but it's Alex Itch who does it in the middle. That brings us back to a 1-1 score. The kills right now, 1 with Rise, 1 with Jarvan, as we are not quite going to see that kill at the top lane.
No.
On to Zyra.
No, we're just going to watch that one go down as well. So, Edward doing his usual, really, picking up the kills. It's good that Genja supports him now and again, though. It's Edward.
I tell you what, as a support, it's always great to know that you can rely on your AD support player to support you through the game. That's what Edward, he really has a good time with that.
Well, it was Lulu that he went 5-0-2 on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just at the weekend. So it's possible he can maybe go that route again. As it is, though, we've got to keep our eye on that bottom lane, because Rumble is a champion that the Koreans usually heavily rely on. CeBIT currently on Rumble. It's always banned out, and you notice the very first game of the day, Blaze versus LGIM, Rumble was the very first ban that went out there. Darian, though, on Renekton has been pretty strong in the LCS, and you can see he's putting the damage down on towards CeBIT there, but everybody backs away. Kale, I think 100% banned now, maybe this whole group stage. I'd be surprised, and I actually caught a glimpse earlier on that the Brazilian player of Pain, he's got that massive Chaos statue right across his back. It's pretty impressive.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
His entire back is a massive KO statue. It's pretty good tattoo, not gonna lie. But, you know, video games, tattoos.
Yeah, I was going to have Demon's name tattooed on my forehead once, and I decided it's probably not the best idea for future relationships.
You were going to say it across the back of your tramp stamp style, but it's not going to be. As it is, you see the equaliser coming out, but here comes Volibear out there. Demacia standard. Lilac hasn't used Cataclysm, and he does manage to pick up the kill. He could Demacia, could Cataclysm on towards Diamond. Oh, very deep play from Alex Itch on the second turret there. The second turret's going to come out. He's going to get him now. The Ignite. No, it's run out. And well, Alex Itch does it again, and it's 2-0 in that mid lane against Mid King.
Talk about dominating there. I mean, the burst potential obviously of Zed is very, very dangerous. Yeah, double CS. Well, he's had more time in lane at least. Obviously, after getting that kill earlier on, that one just going to make even more of a problem for Mid King, as we are going to see a bit of pressure here on towards Paragon. Where's the slow? There is a Glitterlance coming out. They may look to finish this one. Root not quite going to land, and Lasher just coming in the nick of time will save his teammate for now. However, Flash is not going to be down for too long for Edward.
Indeed, we do see Lilac nearby though. He's helping out with the blue buff for Mid King. See whether he's going to transcend up towards that top lane. As it is, Darian going back to the bottom. 0-2 now in that lane. 2 assists for Smeb. Has gone and got the Guardian, if I remember rightly. I've got to remember the exact name. Seeker's Arm Guard. This is the problem when we're a patch behind. I never managed to catch a glimpse of all the exact names. Trevor will be telling me off later on.
I think he just threw up. That's how disgusted he is right now. That you missed that one off. But that leaves us at 3-2 advantage, of course, with Gambit, not just in the kills, but also in the gold. Hanging about 1,000 gold lead at this stage. CS in this top lane very even, as we are going to see Lilac come in. Edward may be in trouble. Perfect bullet time. And Edward, well, there was nothing left of him after that.
Well, Lilac not hanging around with the Cataclysm, pouncing straight on him, and Edward's just like, well, I've not got flash. I'm pretty screwed. Going down here. Diamond, though, flipping the bear, and he's going to pick that one up, see whether he's going to actually looking like he may give it to Genja. Genja thought about coming down and get it. Instead, he's like, no, better defend this turret, you know. It's not really going to help out as it is. We've got to keep our eye on that mid lane as well. Alex Itch, see how he does against Mid King. Mid King did pick up the pentakill, and just as I mentioned it, Alex Itch goes very deep on him, and the Ignite goes down. It could be enough. It is enough, and the blue buff transfers to Alex Itch. 3-0 now.
Fed much. It's just like, oh, you want to come back into lane? And Smeb actually in trouble down in his bottom lane. Darian playing safe. Darian's not usually a player who will dive for these kills. He is a player that gets caught out a little bit too often, but ironically not going the other way, as we are going to see him going back in. There is the stun coming down onto Smeb, but again, not wanting to follow up. He's quite happy to force Smeb away from the lane.
It's interesting he can keep the pressure on him, despite the fact he is 0-2. Of course, both of those deaths have come when Lilac's come to visit. So, as it is, he can see Lilac in the middle, so he realizes he's very safe in that bottom lane. We do see Volibear, Diamond Prox, just lingering off in the shadows, in that tri-bush. Coming up now, he's going to get spotted out. Lasher realizes it, but it's Paragon trying to turn the aggression on towards Edward. Edward uses the wild growth on himself. Diamond Prox comes in, flips it in. Genja's putting the damage down. There goes the world volley, managing to take him straight down. It's Edward that picks up another kill. Great support work.
Yeah, great support from Genja there, making sure that his support carry has just picked up the kills again. 2-1-0 now for Edward, as Darian in the bottom lane went a little bit low with Rumble as well. But
that's actually the only one he got the assist for, Genja. He didn't get the assist for last one.
Oh, Edward. Gambit, of course, the top of the group. Whatever happens, this one is Alex again putting the pressure down, and you can see that that's the turret helping Mid King out. Alex is just bossing him around in this bottom lane. Darian going head-to-head in that bottom lane as well, as we are going to see Alex. Look at this, he's going to try and turn it around. I'm not sure this time he's going to get it, though.
No.
With the help of the turret, Mid King still went very, very low. With that Ignite there, that would have been a different story, though.
Yeah, if Ignite was up, it would have been very different. Smeb, though, building up, trying to go aggressive, but Diamond Prox spots him out there. Darian flashes through, gets the stun down. Here comes Volibear. Diamond flips him back in there. The Ignite will finish him off, and Diamond picks up the kill. That's what Diamond needed. Darian, in that bottom lane. Finally, his jungler comes in to help. Paragon puts the bullet time on Genja. Just outranges it with the flash and arcane shift.
Yeah, nicely done then. Genja actually didn't even use his ghost or anything there. He was just like, well, I'm pretty safe. Arcane shift's going to be enough for me.
I thought he flashed to it. It's just arcane shift.
Yeah.
Strolls away.
Nicely done. What's the CS like in this top lane? Obviously, referring to the AD carries here, 77, 75, even stuff. What Misfortune with that extra kill actually going for Brutalizer, double Doran's blade compared to the pickaxe and the Vamp Scepter. I'm guessing that it's going to end up going Bloodthirster first anyway, as we have been seeing, and then utilizing that pickaxe for something else later, that last Whisper later. Zed is looking like he's going again, as we saw earlier from Alex, into that Blade of the Ruin King.
Edward currently with the same gold as Genja. That's how it works in your lane. Support keeping up Corsic on these GP10 items fairly early on. So 6-4 currently, and Lasher now manages to get the roost down, puts his ultimate down, but Darian just walks away from that one. Paragon's going to put a lot of damage back down on towards him. Alex stood on top of a pink ward, and Mid King not having any of it. Instead, his jungler is going to come round and help, and here we go. Lilac coming diving in, going to slide in. Dimashia standing on towards Alex. Puts the damage down. Ultimate from Mid King not going to be enough, and Alex manages to walk away from that one. And now the flip on top lane. Paragon getting caught out here. Darian will get the stun down. He's going to walk towards his turret, but it's not going to be enough, and that's another kill for Diamond.
Yeah, Lasher getting the root down there, but just doesn't have any damage really to offer into that. We do have Rise actually coming up in towards this top lane as well. Can they get in there? Here comes Jarvan as well. Darian will slice and dice, but the Cataclysm is down. This could end up being a double kill. First one comes around, but here comes Alex from the side. Gets himself the double kill, and now he's not finished here. He's going to go down, try and track off Jarvan in the jungle, but can he finish him? He's down to half HP. I think he's seen him now. He certainly has there. Flashes over the wall. Alex doesn't have the flash, but he can follow there, and he is going to keep going, but has he got enough? He decides against it, but either way, double for Alex. He's now 5-1-0.
Yeah, dangerous play there. Alex has tracked them as they went up. That's exactly what you need to do as you spotted Mid King and Lilac heading up towards that lane, and simply picked up a double kill. Nicely done. Smeb now goes aggressive on towards Genja. Wild Growth popped out from Edward, keeps him at bay, but Paragon is there. Can they turn it back around? Equalizer used, bullet time on Edward. Edward has to flash away from that one, manages to get away. Did use his Ignite in that fight, but does manage to avoid the damage. Diamond Prox was returning to lane, as is Darian. This combo seems to be working well for them.
Yeah, there's Blade of the Ruin King finished as well for Alex. As Zed can certainly afford it at this point, as Diamond Prox expertly dodges the roots there. He's also going to be going into that Brutalizer there, is Alex, by the looks of things. On the other side, Rise got the Catalyst and the Tier already done. Jungle, we have Jarvan with that Giant Belt, his biggest one to know, plus the boots from ability as well for the extra speed getting into those lanes. On the other side, Volibear, pretty standard stuff there that Diamond is going for with that Spirit Stone. But Gambit are doing the Dragon right now. The plants from Zyra will be spotting them out, but that one's going to get low, and it's going to be a Dragon taken for Gambit. That puts them now 3,000 gold up.
Well worked out there. They did it just as Mid King gone to pick up that blue buff with the help of Lilac, so knew he'd be distracted, knew that he wouldn't be around after that pressure in the bottom lane as well. So Alexic now with the blue buff, where is he going to go? He's got the Blade of the Ruin King, 5-1-0. Going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage with that ultimate, and you can see him sit lying in wait. Genja trying to bait them in towards the turret. Edward alongside him, but Paragon is keeping the pressure down. The top lane as well is keeping pressure in, but Alex is not hanging around. He's just going full tilt, tilted towards Lasher, and you can see that's going to be a great ultimate from Lilac to turn it around. That's going to stop down on Alex. It's now Lilac going to continue chasing. Could have the slide in towards it there, and it's going to be a great turnaround. Glitterlance on towards Lilac, but Genja's taking a lot of damage from Paragon. Paragon continues to pressure. Whimsy comes down. Darian, meanwhile, in the top lane. Equalizer comes down. It's Smeeb that picks up yet another kill on Darian, and now Mid King comes in for Lilac. Sorry, for LGIM. Can they catch him on? I keep saying for Lilac because he is just initiating and setting up absolutely everything for LGIM right now.
Yeah, his Jarvan so far has been incredible. 4-0-2, picking up the kills, but you know, he's been in there for him. Those kills could have gone elsewhere, but you know, they fell to him, and he's kind of got a lot of weight on his shoulders now to keep that up, keep things going. As we see turrets going down across the map, 2-0 now to the Koreans in turrets. Are we going to see any major purchases after what was a big fight there? 1,200 gold on Rise, 1,300 gold on Rumble, so they've both got a good chunk to spend.
So it's just coming up to the 16-minute mark, and you can see the gold on your screens The fact that Darien has had some help and picked up some kills makes him close. The junglers, big difference there. Lilac way ahead, of course, on that 4-0-2, but the mid lane, massive, massive disparity there. And you can see 1.5k ahead is Alex Ich, which is what a lot of that damage is. AD carry is actually fairly close, just 400, and of course the supports. It's Scumbag Edward picking up the kills, puts him 1,000 gold ahead of Lasher. And we'll see how that translates into items in late game. And Alex Ich returns back into that mid lane. Of course, we do see that Sightstone in there hasn't upgraded to the Ruby Crystal because he went for those GP10 items early on.
Yeah, those 2 GP10 items already given him about 550 gold, so that just shows you what kind of early advantage you can get, as we are going to see it all kick off in middle. Paragon going fairly low, will actually die to Zed in the end. Diamond Prox may be in trouble as well. He's running for his life right now. Alex and Edward are still in there, but Alex needs to escape as he gets rooted in. He's going down from this one, or is he just about to get away? Mid King will get it. The equalizer would have finished the deal either way. And now LJM looking for their third and final outer turret here, going into the middle as we see the flashes on towards Diamond. They need the prism. There it is, and it's a finisher for Mid King. Even Lilac went in on towards Edward there, but they're going to be happy with the fact that this is going to be the third and outer turret.
Well, LJM are fighting here. Darien is going to take down that top turret and continue pushing, but it's the middle lane where it happens, and LJM, what a great fight for them. 4-0-4 now, Lilac, and of course Mid King picking up those kills. Very important after such a terrible lane start for against Alex Ich, and Alex is 7-3-0, kind of getting a little bit too careless there. Obviously realizes he has a lot of damage and maybe going a little bit too deep too early on, but Diamond Prox, he's building that runic bulwark. Once that gets up there, and once Darien and Diamond combined, he's going to have that tanky front line that he needs.
Yeah, once those tanks are there, then it's going to be a different story. Also, once he's got a little bit of health of his own built up there, I mean, he's going pretty much straight
Darien
in
spotted by
for
a
the damage.
here.
Yeah, let's see if they can get onto him. Jarvan is coming around the side here. Where is the combo? There it is. Darien going to get knocked up. You can see he was trying to get away to slice and dice through the wall with the ultimate running. He escapes.
He'd put the ping ward down. He was ready and waiting to go, and he thought about flashing for it, but clearly the team obviously called no. He did have Cataclysm available, so he could have just jumped straight across, but they had no idea where the rest of Gambit were, so maybe a wise play, but we could have seen he maybe would have got the kill. As it is, Alex is down the bottom lane. Paragon doesn't want to get close to him because Alex has a hell of a lot of damage. Flashes out of the bullet time, takes him down. Now Lasher could finish him off. Ignite comes down, and it's going to be a last basic attack from Lasher.
Yeah, that ultimate dodge just about there by Alex. He actually would have died to misfortune if he'd have not actually flashed behind him at the same time there. That was nicely done by Alex. Obviously, only prolonged his life a little bit, but got the kill anyway onto misfortune. He's now 8-4-0. As we can see, Darien coming back into lane. Smev is actually in that bush there. Let's see if they decide to go head-to-head on this one. In fact, they will do it. It's a big head-to-head as the equalizer goes down. The Ignite, is that going to get put in there as well? Yes, it is running right now on Darien. He's going to try and slice and dice his way off, which will keep him alive for now. Just Smeb wanting to force him out of that lane. He's done the job.
Well, is he backing away? I wasn't sure whether Mid King maybe was going to come up. Didn't want to face check that bush, instead needs to pick up that blue buff. Probably a wiser choice. The game's still very close, coming up to the 20-minute mark now. 3-1 in turrets currently for LGIM. But we are still just 1,000 gold, really. 1,500 gold overall between the two teams. So plenty to play for between the teams. The kills, of course, stacking heavily on Alex Ich, but he is being taken down very quick, which actually smells danger a little bit for Gambit. But when they do pull together, as they are with this dragon up, they should start having that tanky front line. Diamond in there, Darien can both quickly engage, and they're looking for kills here. With the wards down though, Gambit want to take that dragon.
Yeah, Genji going to push bottom lane out. Dragon going to be up here soon as Alex actually just goes over the back there. He's been spotted by that ward, and this could be a little bit of a dangerous situation for him. There's no flash available, obviously. Has some ability built in anyway, but for the fail-safe, you certainly would like to have that in there. He's coming around this backside once again. Dragon going to be taken here. Comes Darien straight into the middle of the team. Going to get held down by the Rune Prison. There is the bullet time, but it's not doing too much damage. First kill is going to come in for Alex Ich. Edward hit there by the equalizer. He could well fall from this one as Genja trying to kite them away on that backside. But right now it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Gambit. And now Genja chases in there. Finishes off with a Q. Is finally going to shut down Lilac and get Darien not finished just yet as he tries to get into the back there onto Rumble. Either way, Gambit take the kill advantage, 3 for 1, a Dragon and the middle outer turret. That is a big win.
Spins the gold very much in their favor there. Of course, they may even take the bottom turret as well. Genja immediately went straight down towards that bottom lane to clear out the wave and push on towards the turret. That would take them 3 and 3, equal in turrets with a big 5,000 gold difference in that gold. You can see it's almost gone. So the moment Genja gets onto it, there's minions will take it down. So that's going to give them a 5,000 gold advantage from that one fight. Is that the turning point? Have Gambit smelt blood now? When you give them this advantage, they are usually lethal and they can just smell it. Alex played it cleverly. They knew he was off the side, but he just destroyed Paragon. He had no chance, even during bullet time. I think he got 2 or 3 shots of bullet time and he was gone, deleted.
Yeah, really nice target in there from Alex Ich. Alex Ich picking off the right man in that fight. What have we got now from the items? Let's have a look at that. Runic Bulwark going to be finished by Diamond Prox. That's a big one in there. Last Whisper added into the Bloodthirster for Ezreal. On the other side, Brutalizer and the Vamp Scepter, not really Misfortune in a position to contend with Ezreal at this point, but certainly will get there as the game goes on. Rod of Ages and the Glacial Shroud for Ryze. That Warmogs obviously was finished off a little bit earlier on for Jarvan on the other side, and we've also got a Hex Drinker on both Renekton and Zed.
Yeah, Alex tracking out there. He has been spotted, and you can see LGIM starting to collapse towards him. They may well try and get a 4-man pile, but they have to be careful they don't leave their middle lane exposed. And Mid King immediately reacting to that one. Lilac's going to come off the side there. Diamond's going to put the ward down, see him coming, and that's going to be Gambit pressuring this mid turret. Here comes LGIM now. They're going to dive on towards Darien. He seems to be the target. He's a very tanky target though. He's just got his Sunfire cape, and Lilac just realized that he's not sure he can take the damage, but he is going to pick up 1, he pick up 2. That's going to be actually Zyra that picks up the 2 kills. Lasher there, and they are going to have to back off from this one. Alex Ich, he's been caught. Rune Prison, is he going to slow him down though? Alex should be able to flash away from this one. Gotta be careful they don't go too close into a bush and get exposed. Alex is going to keep tracking them away. Genja's actually tracking back in towards the mid lane. He might get dived on. Lasher tries to get the roots down, but he's going to back off, and again, keeping him pressured. They could turn and try and pressure the mid lane themselves here.
We talk about Curse of the Sad Bullet Time, and I'll tell you what, that combo coming out of LGIM was absolutely perfect. The Cataclysm locked them in, Zyra knocking them up, and then the Bullet Time came across them all. Really well executed fight out of LGIM. They're still almost 5k behind in this one, but they're pushing on towards this inner turret now in the middle lane. Should go down with this wave of minions. Actually, LGIM going to back away from this as they see the bear running towards them, and, well, any normal person would run from a bear, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would run, that's for sure, especially when it's Diamond Prox. He looks pretty scary when he's quite skinny, I know that, but you know, he can be intimidating.
He does a bear pose.
When you hear him speak, it's just like, that voice doesn't belong to that body. What is wrong with you? What do they feed you in Russia? We don't know. But the death push, it's being set up for Gambit. The question is, will they fall into it? Surely Azira will start off and just root that bush, and that will catch all of them. They instead turn straight away. Mid King just getting rough moved. Absolutely dropped where he stands, and now Lilac, the man, the leading killer for them, is taken down as well. Gambit set up and executed that perfectly. You just got to wonder why they didn't let Lasher go in to start with, put the seed and the root in the bush.
Yeah, they've quite frankly balls that one up completely. I mean, there's no reason that you should ever not check that bush with what they've got available there. The flag from Jarvan, the roots, the plants, everything coming out of Zyra, and that's going to cost them a Baron here and quite possibly the game. I mean, they were keeping it close on kills. Those team fights were definitely not one-sided, but that might be the thing here that Gambit used to separate this deal off.
Well, they do have the Baron, and here we go. Let's see what advantage they do claw from this one. Diamond continuing to pressure and chase down on Paragon, actually. Keeping them at bay because he wants the blue buff. And he's going to give that across to Genja. Darien, meanwhile, is going to pressure in that top lane. Alex Ich is going to join him. And Smed needs to be careful. He doesn't let them get too close to him because he could get popped very quickly. Alex does not quite have his ultimate available, and now Darien might get caught. Slice and dices away. Mid King can't quite get the Rune Prison. If just that little split second close, he would have got him, but they've left the mid lane exposed now. Genja's going to push down there. Lasher's trying to keep them at bay. Volibear just tanking it up. Diamond Prox, can they get a couple of shots on towards his turret with the Baron? They're keeping it a split push, but Lilac might try and dive in this one. Still has got Cataclysm. Catches on towards Diamond, but Diamond flips him out of the Cataclysm. Now you can see the Rune Prison go down, but Diamond has a Runic Bulwark. He is the tankiest member of the team, and they are just targeting the wrong man right now.
Yeah, that was a totally bad call. I'm not sure why you go for someone so tanky. With a flip, yeah, it's just going to flip you out of it and you can't do anything about it, and he's just kind of just sat in there like now bear in a cage, not being able to do anything, but he's not dead, and that's the point, as we are going to see them coming. Genja going very, very low. Bullet time comes across, as we are going to see Darian chasing into the back. He's going to get rooted up. Alex is coming in from the side. This could be absolute destruction as Alex gets in there. Is he going to get knocked up? Yes, he is, and rooted in. Knocked up by Jarvan as well, and they finish him off. They've only managed that one kill onto Misfortune. Genja here though off to the side, may look for some kind of opportunity to get over. Not sure he could really 1v1 Smeb here. Well, he probably could if he catches him out of position there. Hugh gonna land. He's gonna go for this one.
He might well go for it. You can see he's keeping the pressure down. He does not get shifted into it. Genja just pops him down. I think he actually questioned whether he could do it himself. He was kind of looking at it going, well, I kind of have some damage, but I'm not sure. Oh, well, you know, might as well give it a go.
Do it.
Suddenly he realized that Smeb actually has only got that arm guard, so that's really all the defense he has. Genja going to go back down, solo out the dragon, but that was a Baron of up Gambit Gaming, kind of messing up their fights.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that it was a little bit messy, wasn't it? Alex tried to get right into the back line rather than taking, for example, Zyra, who was actually for the taking there on the steps, albeit underneath the turret. But if he'd have gone there rather than the standard in towards that AD carry, who was already low anyway, did end up dying in the end. Edward going to get caught out, but got the speed running away just about.
And then he has the nerve to go back in there. He's like, well, he's got to protect his ward, man. Got to protect his ward. Doesn't want to let them things go down, even if they are for free from that ruby sight crystal. Instead just puts one up on red, and still he's got balls of steel, just sticks around with that oracle. It's an expensive item to be in that jungle completely on his own. They are nowhere near him in the rest of his team, so if he got caught out, he'd be very, very dead. But instead he's like a little ninja hobbling around, and he's got, of course, Alexic on the true ninja helping him out. 10-5-3 Alexic currently the top killer of the game, but Mid King, he's turning things around. They've got to keep their eye on him because he's starting to get tanky as well.
Yeah, and if we look over towards Ezreal, picking up the Spirit Visage there. So, interesting choice for him in that one, but to be honest, one that fits him in this situation perfectly.
Oh, I guess he's got the Bloodthirster in there, wants to keep that lifesteal and wants to gain more lifesteal from it. And actually,
well, the health, the magic resist, like, is perfect against this team.
Genja's one of the people that normally goes double Bloodthirster actually on Misfortune, so whether he may do it on towards Ezreal as well. We do see the mid turret going down though, so that's an inner down, 5-3 in turrets. There is a big stack in the bottom that's slowly building itself up, so Gambit have just a straight push in there, and wow, look at that Mid King. Actually, that burst didn't do a great deal to him now because he's got that Glacial Shroud. He's got the Seraphims as well, so he's got a lot of defense should he require it. Just pop that big shield on. Well, Genja's just going to clear out the wards, and Gambit are taking this one steadily. We just saw a 42-minute game, I believe it was, with Fnatic. We're up to 30-minute mark, and this one doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. LGIM are holding them off very well, and Lilac has been a key part of that.
Yeah, about 30 minutes in, one fight, especially in this position, if it's good for Gambit, could lead them through for the victory. It looks like we're going to see a bit of split pushing coming off. Ezreal was, or is, I should say, moving.
They're going for
pushing that top lane down. Mid King actually going to come back around here. There's the equalizer coming in. They're going to dive on towards Darian. Can they kill him though? Look how long it's taken to take him down, and he actually will get a wild growth there coming out from Edward. Can GG turn this one around?
True shot.
There is a true shot barrage coming in. The knockup going to land onto both Alex and Edward, but they're not finishing the bear. Looking for the flip. Bullet time comes down, but look how low they all are. They could mop up here for the ace, and there is 2 kills coming down for LGIN. Sorry, Paragon did die in the end as well, so a 2v2. But look at the LGIN team on the left-hand side. They are all blinking red here, and GG may just be able to push in for the extra kills here at the end. Rise just going off towards the one side. Can he get away from them? Ezreal in hot pursuit. They are going to spot Smeb's position. That totally gives away where they both are. They turn around onto Ezreal, but they both die.
They tried a clever little play, and it's all they could really do is trying to go into a blind bush. But unfortunately for them, it was Alexic that led the charge into that bush, and they took them straight down. So more kills, more gold, all going towards Gambit. They have a 13,000 gold lead. And it still doesn't look it when you come into the fights. If they manage to get to the fight at the right angle, as it was, They tried to initiate on Darien, and they need to learn that now Darien and Diamond are simply too strong to be the first targets. They have too much resistance, too much damage, and when that bear is nearby, the runic bulwark's helping them all out, and the red buff, well, being picked up by Genja, he's kind of the man they need, but Ezreal's just so slippery, you can't pin him down.
Yeah, really difficult to hold down. Got plenty of health. That cooldown reduction certainly helps things out as well. And Black Cleaver was finished by Alex. He's got that Warmogs and the Hex Drinker and the Blade of the Ruin King in there. He is super healthy at this point. Twin Shadows as well was picked up by Edward. So now getting that magic resist in there, got the slows, got the movement speed extra, like really great item as well for the situation that they're finding themselves in against that double AP team. Question is where it's going to come in. Lasher is going to get caught out here inside of his own jungle, going to put down the Strangled Thorns, but he's going to die from this one. It's Darien that picks up that kill. Darien is a little bit in no man's land here, as he is actually going to get knocked up, but can he escape from it? There is the Wild Growth and the flash away. That is a big crocodile looking over the top of the trees as the rest of Gambit going to close in onto them. Bullet time is good, and actually there is a Cataclysm as well in a perfect position to hold them back, but can they finish off the kills? Paragon going to flash away. Alex Hitch is going to chase him, but the bulk of the team are going head to head here by the Wolves, and Smeb isn't going to be able to escape that one. That will be a 1-for-4. Paragon did manage to get away, but Gambit going to back off and say it's Baron time.
Diamond Procs, the bear that doesn't care, manages to pick up 2 kills, and he got the flips in as well. And of course, that Sunfire Cape helping out from Darien. Massive, massive crocodile, as you mentioned, with that Wild Growth and his ultimate running. And it is going to be another Baron pickup for Gambit. And that's just simply another case of taking an opportunity in the jungle. So many times you see people just getting caught out there, and I'm not too sure they're really in the position to try and follow it up. They just don't have the damage right now to deal with the tankiness that Darien and Diamond Procs have, and it's always those two guys that they end up starting to initiate on. And with that Wild Growth popping them out, giving a big health bonus, they just can't take them down. And I'm still not seeing enough damage items coming out from LGIM. They're suffering, they're trying to get the gold, they're trying to get everything they need. And Paragon actually landed, honestly, probably the perfect ultimate there, but it still wasn't enough.
I mean, you look at the defensive items that are in there, that Locket, they've got Shurelius to get in and out of the fight, those double Hex Drinkers in there, there's 2 Warmogs, Spirit Visage on the AD carry, like, they are ridiculously tanky, plus they've got those Blades of the Ruin King, Black Cleaver, Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper. It's really, really hard to do anything. Actually, Renekton, with that Sunfire Cape finish, has now got a 3rd Giant spell in his items.
Well, he's a crocodile on fire, and he's taking down a dragon. Edward there, clever use. You notice Genja just used the True Shot Barrage to clear out towards him, to actually check Edward's path was clear, to go in and put those wards down. Did actually spot out Lilac as well, so managed to find that it is clear, and Edward pings down those wards, and it's looking like the bottom inner turret is the next target for Gambit. Darien comes around the side to make sure it's clear, and there's not a great deal that LGIM can do about this one.
No, they're going to have to surrender this one. If they're going to fight anywhere, or try to fight, it's probably going to be here on the steps of their base. But I still don't think it'll go too well. So see the Twin Shadows there coming out of Edward. Actually use the Locket there, and we are going to see Shurelius pop. In comes Lilac to the back line. But Mid King is in a little bit of trouble. Lasher misses his roots, and Mid King surely will go down. The ultimate hour of Zyra will knock a couple of them up. There's a fight inside of the Cataclysm. That lands in a double kill for Alex. Smeb will actually flash onto the fountain itself, and obviously Lasher only shown as alive because of his passive there. That's going to be an inhib turret and the inhibitor, and they can push for the game right here. Rumble is the only man left alive. There's the surrender, and Gambit go 5-0 here in the group stage of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.
They realized it was over when Lilac simply could not 1v1 Alex. He cataclysmed onto Alex, and Alex just turned and killed him. And that is 5-0, like you say, an impressive group stage performance. And I believe that may even mean that LGIM are out of the tournament, but we are going to pass over to the analysis desk because they have all the answers for us, as well as a breakdown of that game.
Thanks, Lee. We could kind of feel it coming. I think we expected it. 5-0, Gambit Gaming continuing their run at the Intel Extreme Masters, just domination. How does anyone stop that?
They gotta pull something special out of the bag. You can't ban to stop it, you can't pick away their champions to stop it. You've just gotta outplay them, and that's a monumental task. Flawless so far in the last 2 consecutive IEM World Championships. That's a big claim.
There's another question that was asked at the beginning of that matchup by D-Man and Joe. They were saying, Gambit Gaming, they're a team that generally peaks later in the tournament. I wonder if they're peaking too early. Only time will tell, though.
There are some big names in that Group B which they might still need to step up a little bit to beat later in this tournament. So that peak might just be needed if it's still to come. But if it's still to come, I don't know what I'm going to do. My heart, I might need to take something to slow it down a little bit, because these games are already incredible. And if they're going to step it up another notch, it's going to get incredibly exciting.
It's really nice to see the huge kill counts coming in again. You know, we've seen a few weeks of passive play, and all of a sudden today, even though a lot of the games have been fairly one-sided, they have been very exciting to watch. It's been non-stop action. I mean, at one point we looked down and we said, it's only been 30 minutes. Like, it feels like this game has been going forever, because you don't get a chance to actually catch your breath. Gambit Gaming did very, very well throughout the majority of the game, but every time they did make a play, you know, Incredible Miracle, they took little bits that they could. They took some kills, they took some towers, and it wasn't as one-sided as we have been seeing.
Yeah, as I said before, it started out very even. They never really fought IM on their terms. They never stood there, took up all that damage. Then it got towards the end. It was about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and they catch Darien in the jungle. And they put all their AoE down. They catch Darien, and he stands there, and he goes into his ultimate, and he soaks it all up, and then goes, all right, my turn. Turns back on them, Lulu ults him, and Gambit chase him down, clean him up, take a bottom inhibitor. It's like, what are you going to do to stop that? If Darien can stand there and take damage from 5 people in the situation you want to be fighting, and he still turns around and turns it back on you, it's not looking good.
And Misfortune, given how much she's been banned today, picked, and surprisingly ineffective.
Very much so. I mean, Genja shut her down very effectively in lane. She was behind from the start. Didn't really get those early kills that you'd love to have on an AD carry. Couldn't get that snowball going, and was kind of shut out from a very early stage. Never got the kill, never got the goal. Started to get some solid items. Got that Black Cleaver very late in comparison, but Alex Hitch just started every fight on top of that. Like, half of them, he would just go in, pop his combo, leave. We'd all think, well, left it, still going. But then the Zed's ult's there, and there's a little red flashing marker, and then pop, and Paragon's gone.
I just want to touch on the build that Genji actually had in that matchup again. You know, I keep talking about his builds and looking at his items, and he did something a little bit different. He did not go for the Avarice Blade, which is what we've been seeing out of him a lot. Opened with the Bloodthirster, followed Bloodthirster into Last Whisper, then the Spirit Visage. And the reason I really want to point that out, 50 magic resist, 20% cooldown reduction against a Ryze, a Rumble, and a Zyra with Sorcerer Shoes who was building AP. Like, it is the perfect item. His final item before the match ended up, he picked up a Blade of the Ruined King. So he had 38% spell vamp before the healing increase that you get from Spirit Visage. I mean, it's an item I don't think I've ever seen on AD carry, but there couldn't have been a better one for that particular matchup.
Yeah, worked very well, and it just shows how smart Oscar 5 is. Okay, and you think about it now, we sit there and explain it, you think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good item. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, so true.
These guys are doing that. They're just bringing all these things forward. It's not necessarily groundbreaking, incredibly new thing. It's just logical. It's just thinking
Yeah,
on
that's
your
like
toes.
my Zephyr first builds. Zephyr into Mercurial Scimitar. You'll see the meta shift in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. Laying down the law. Let's jump into a replay very, very quickly. It's just approaching the 21-minute mark. Kill score is 10-12. Gambit Gaming only have a 1,500 goal lead. It was really this team fight that started to seal the deal for Incredible Miracle. They started to fall further and further behind, and they simply could not catch back up. The battle takes place in and around the Dragon Pit. And Panky, talk us through this one.
Yeah, we see Gambit starting on that Drake. We see Darien getting straight in there onto Lilac, making sure he tries to keep him away from the smite. Doesn't matter anyway. Diamond procs, bites it, smites it, takes it out. Ezreal only hitting 2 people, but it doesn't matter because Paragon, look, right at the back, he's half health, still channeling his ult. Alex is already running away. He's gone in, he's used his ult, he's used his combo. It's time to leave. That proc damage will do enough any second now to finish Paragon off. The rest of Gambit are chasing LGIM straight up. We wait for Darien to get right in and amongst them. Now Edward's going to pop that on, pop up mid-king and Lilac. Genja is taking a bit of damage in from mid-king as he gets in range, but immediately starts to back away again. He's got Edward following him, and it's all it takes. Diamond Proxy's currently been zoning Smeb and Zyra this entire time, pushed them up towards the mid lane, straight through that bush. They couldn't get close, they didn't touch Genja. It was a good equalizer straight down this ramp, but still, they were so far behind that didn't really make much of a difference. Genja could just arcane shift over it, just run on straight through it. Didn't really do much damage to him. Took a couple of ticks of it, a couple of water attacks. Once Lilac came onto it, just turned it back, kited him away a bit, followed him over the wall, cleaned him up again. Just well executed, and it was all really focusing around the fact that Paragon died so quickly. There was no damage left for
Incredible, Michael. It was a story of pretty much every single team fight where members of Gambit Gaming, they would lose 1 or 2, but they'd score an ace. And every single time they would throw absolutely everything they had in there. And Volibear, Zed, and Renekton, they were just such menaces. I don't think Genji was truly pressured for the majority of that latter half of the game because he had so much protection in front and so much focus on his teammates. He was just allowed to freely throw out mystic shots and auto attacks.
Yeah, I mean, it is very hard to lock down an Ezreal. That's part of the fact he's so strong. That's why he was really popular for not so long, for quite a while, sorry. But it didn't really seem like LGM were trying to lock down them. They wanted to just lock down the whole team, ultimate across them, do a lot of AoE damage, and then see who was left up and clean them up. That never really happened. Gambit was just too strong, didn't get stuck with that, and didn't have any low health champions to be cleaned up. And the whole while, Ezreal was just sitting there whacking away on LGIM, taking them lower and taking them lower, taking them lower, and then they were the ones that need to be cleaned up. Didn't have the greatest peel. I mean, there's some situations where that can work. You can just drop down a Zyro roll, drop down a couple of more AoEs and just run. But there's so many gap closure abilities, so many dashes, so many slows on Gambit, that 80% Lulu slow. And you put quick shield on Darian, he slices and dices straight into the enemy team. 80% slow across everyone. They're just locked in there and you cannot run from that.
All right, well, the day ends with Gambit undefeated. Again, I mean, I was hoping for it. Didn't say I saw it coming. Glad it happened, though. One of my favorite teams. Again, if you haven't followed us on Twitter yet, go to Twitter, IEM. You can talk about IEM by hashtagging IEM, and then we see it, comes up on our monitors and stuff. Yep. Pretty cool. You can follow us. Our names are down there.
That'll be there.
I'm real funny and stuff. I'll totally make you laugh.
If we get him 13,337 followers, he will be on stage singing Lady Gaga by the end of the weekend.
See, I made a bet with Carmack, who's one of the guys that runs the show. He knows I haven't mentioned this bet today, even though the Twitter followers would benefit me. More Twitter followers, bigger ego, that's good. But yeah, I made a bet. Alcohol may or may not have been involved in the creation of the bet, but if my Twitter followers hit lead 13,337, apparently I have to sing Lady Gaga Bad Romance a cappella on stage on the final day.
That would be dramatic.
That would be quite a way to win the
Also,
IEM.
don't forget, if you are on Facebook, facebook.com/IEM, make sure you follow it, like the button. I think that's what it is on Facebook. Check it out. On Saturday, we're going to be doing that MVP vote.
Yes.
And, of course, make sure you remember these games because whoever wins MVP for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships gets that seriously wicked custom sprayed BenQ monitor.
It's really cool. The voting opens about 1 hour before the final, just so you know. Although a lot of people have already picked who they're voting for. They just vote for their favorites.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Those guys are favourites for a reason. They're pretty impressive players.
So is this a goodbye from us for the night?
I do believe it is.
I believe so too.
All right, well, this was day 1 of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. First time we've worked together as an analysis desk team. Me as host, not an expert. These 2 experts. I had a lot of fun. You guys have fun?
I had good fun, yeah.
Got to do the right fist bump.
Yeah, I'm going to admit.
Go on.
I was so scared this morning. I was terrified, but I had so much fun today.
Yeah, it was really good. The games were really, really exciting. It was a bit of a bother that they weren't quite as evenly matched for most of the time, but nevertheless exciting. Got to see a lot of champions that we love to see. Zed in particular is just so aggressive and so fun.
It's only going to get better as the weaker teams are weeded out.
Think about it this way. You use that term so loosely. The weaker teams in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. That's Group A. Group B is, of course, coming up tomorrow.
Yes. All right, well, we're going to throw it over to the stage. I think Shox is there with Red Eye to close out the show for the night. So once again, this is goodbye from the analysis desk. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not shocked, but thanks anyway, Jared. That's awesome. She is shocked, and she's also very happy because we've got a fantastic day. Thank you very much, gentlemen, all 3 of you on the analysis desk for your hard work today, as well as the casting team as well. Been fantastic, as always, for the League of Legends Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. It has been awesome today. We've had shock after shock after shock, and the previous champions from last year dominating.
They dominated LCS, they dominated here. Who's going to stop them? But Fnatic. Oh my God, that was just
gone.
Terrible. You don't know what happened there.
And Pain Gaming win a game. My boys from Brazil won a game. That's all I wanted from them.
So Gambit is through for sure. So is CJ Entis Blaze. It's very nice. But of course, this is only the first day of playoffs. We have the first group stage. We have Group B coming up tomorrow. So let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. We're going to be starting off with CJ Entis Frost versus SK Telecom T1, followed by MYM versus EG. Gonna be a long day filled with awesome games, and we're gonna end it with EG SK. Awesome game.
Oh yeah, it's like one of those. It's not quite the El Clasico, but It's a big game.
It is a big
It's
game.
big,
It's always hard
humongous
to do.
game. Can't wait for
Absolutely.
that one.
And we're going to be ending the day with SK Telecom T1 versus SK. SK versus SK, going to be a big one as well. We're going to be starting off at 9:30 Central European time. So it's going to be amazing. We hope you all tune in again tomorrow because it's been some day.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to Shox as well for the hosting on the League of Legends stage. Don't forget, we've also got StarCraft on the other stage as well. So we're doing multi-streams here and multi-nationalities as well. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage from the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship Day 1. We'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 Central European time. From me and her, it's goodbye until tomorrow.
Hi.